Have you ever walked away from an argument and wondered if you were losing your mind? You remember exactly what happened, and you remember every single word. But the person staring back at you looks you dead in the eye and denies everything. They tell you that you are too sensitive and that you are imagining things. The scariest part is that you start to believe them. This is not a mistake, and your memory is not broken. This is a deliberate psychological design. You are living in an invisible psychological prison with no bars. This prison is not built with concrete or steel. It is built with sweet lies and reinforced with guilt. The most dangerous manipulators never use force, and they never raise their voices. They use kindness as a mask to wrap puppet strings around your mind. Niccolo Machiavelli warned us about this 500 years ago. He said that everyone sees what you appear to be, but very few experience what you really are. Manipulators know this very well. They play the victim so that you have to play the villain. They give you kindness only to turn you into a permanent debtor. Day by day, they strip away your confidence until you are too afraid to make a single decision without them. But today, that game ends right here. This video is going to give you a microscope to see the strings that have been controlling you. You will no longer be the prey. You will become a cold observer. We are going to walk through the 7 most subtle signs of manipulation that even intelligent people miss. And more importantly, I will show you how to cut them immediately. Let's start with the first sign. It is a tactic so cruel that it can make a sane person question their own existence. They call it gaslighting. You know it is happening when you constantly hear phrases like, "I never said that," or "You are reading too much into this." They deny what you saw with your own eyes. They reject what you heard with your own ears. Their goal is not to win the argument. Their goal is to destroy your internal compass. When you can no longer trust your own memory, you are forced to trust the fake reality they have painted for you. You become completely dependent on them to know what is real and what is not. Machiavelli taught us that the wise man trusts data, not words. To escape the gaslighting trap, you need a cold strategy. That strategy is documentation. Do not argue with emotions. Write everything down: the dates, the events, the promises. When they try to twist your memory, look at your notes. That is your hard evidence. Tell yourself that your memory is valid, and you do not need anyone else to validate your sanity. Now let's move to the second sign. The second sign is much more subtle because it attacks the biggest weakness of kind people. That weakness is guilt. Have you ever heard them say, "After all I did for you, or after all I sacrificed, this is how you repay me"? This is the ultimate weapon of the professional victim. They turn past acts of kindness into a permanent debt that you can never fully repay. Whenever you try to set a boundary, they drag that debt out to chain you down. They want you to believe that prioritizing yourself makes you an ungrateful and selfish person. But wake up. A real gift never comes with strings attached. If they help you only to demand submission later, that is not kindness. That is a business transaction. The way to break these handcuffs is to separate responsibility from emotion. You are responsible for your actions, but you are not responsible for carrying their emotions. Guilt is a tool for control. You can say no and still be a good person. We move to the third sign. This is a psychological strike aimed directly at the human fear of abandonment. It is the silent treatment. You have a disagreement, and suddenly, they disconnect completely. They do not answer calls. They do not reply to texts. They act as if you do not exist. Do not confuse this with needing space to cool down. The silent treatment is a cold calculation designed to make you panic. They want your mind to spin out of control until you blame yourself. They want you to come crawling back and apologizing just to get their attention again. If you chase them, you lose. The most effective counter-move here is to enjoy the silence. Do not call and do not text asking why. Treat this silence as a short vacation for yourself. Go watch a movie. Read a book. Live your life joyfully without them. When they realize their silence is not hurting you, they lose their power. Remember that silence is not a punishment. It is peace. Never chase someone who is running away to manipulate you. Now let's look at the fourth sign, which is a game that never ends. It is called moving the goalposts. You try to please them, but their standards are constantly changing. Today, you get an A, and they say an A is not good enough. You need an A+. Tomorrow, when you get the A+, they demand absolute perfection. They keep you on a hamster wheel, running endlessly. The harder you try, the more exhausted you become, but you never get the recognition you crave. Their goal is to make you feel like you are always lacking, so you have to work twice as hard to please them. The only way to win is to stop running, step off the wheel. Define your own standards. If you know you did a good job, and if you know you tried your best, then their opinion does not matter. Look them in the eye and say, I have done my part, and I will not do anything more. If they are not happy, that is their problem, not yours. The fifth sign is the sweetest trap, but also the most toxic. It is called love bombing. You meet someone, and immediately they make you feel like the center of the universe. They shower you with compliments and overwhelm you with gifts. They plan a perfect future with you after only knowing you for a few days. Your brain gets flooded with dopamine. You become addicted to that attention. And just as you take the bait, they pull away. They become cold and distant. You panic and start doing everything possible to get that warm affection back. This is the principle of intermittent reinforcement. They turn you into an addict, and they are the only ones holding the cure. To avoid becoming a victim, remember this: trust must be built over time. It cannot be bought with words or gifts. Apply the strategy of wait and see. When someone is too intense at the beginning, take a step back. Watch their actions over 3 months or 6 months. Sincerity is always consistent. Manipulation is always intense but short-lived. Do not let emotions fool your logic. The sixth sign attacks the deepest insecurity of the human heart. It is called triangulation. They do not attack you directly. Instead, they bring a third person into the conversation to create artificial competition. They compare you to an ex-lover, or they praise another colleague right in front of you to make you feel threatened. When you feel insecure, you work twice as hard to win their validation. You unknowingly enter a gladiator arena. The only way to win this game is to leave the arena. Never compete for love or respect. Your value is inherent. It is not comparative. When they bring up a third person, calmly praise that person and end the conversation. Finally, the seventh sign. A tactic that turns you into a servant without you even realizing it. It is feigned helplessness. You will hear phrases like, I don't know how to do this. Can you do it for me? At first, you feel useful, but slowly, you realize you are carrying the responsibilities of 2 people. They use fake weakness to drain your energy. To escape this burden, you need to be ruthlessly smart. Let them fail. If they say they do not know how to cook, let them go hungry. Humans only learn responsibility when they face the consequences of their laziness. You help them by letting them grow up. But here is the hard truth. Sometimes you cannot just walk away. What if the manipulator is your boss, your parent, or a spouse? In these cases, you need a different weapon. It is called the gray rock method. You must become as uninteresting as a stone. When they try to provoke you, give them nothing. No anger, no tears. Just short, flat answers like okay or I see. Understand that manipulators feed on your emotional reaction. If you do not provide that food, they will eventually starve. They will get bored, and go find another victim who is easier to trigger. Your boredom is your shield. We have walked through the 7 circles of psychological manipulation, from the fog of gaslighting to the heavy chains of guilt. Now you have the knowledge. But knowledge is only potential power. Action is real power. From this moment on, change the way you play. When they try to trigger you, do not explode. Smile coldly and observe. The greatest power in this world is not controlling others. It is the ability to not let anyone control you. Take the invisible scissors in your mind. Cut the final puppet string right now. You are free. If this video woke you up, leave a mark. Comment below with the affirmation, "I am in control." Do not forget to subscribe. In a world of wolves, wisdom is your only weapon. I will see you on the other side of freedom.